Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're doing a recap and review of Love Island USA Season 2 Episode 24. And again, I want to send out another shout out to Her2 Beauty Bar, who has all natural skincare, body butter, sugar scrub, hair care, facial care, and more. Again, it's all natural. So if you want to check that out, I did show a video of this in the last episode. Go over to myskincarenatural.com. The link will be in the description below, and check them out. So we are back in Vegas, and of course we have our singles and whatever couples that we're going to have left. We'll definitely see in the next episode, but let's talk about what's going on today. So we didn't get much on Justine and Caleb. I thought this particular scene was so cute. I had to get a picture of that. Those two are just adorable together. But the most that we got with them is what happened at the recoupling ceremony, where Justine says that he is the reason for the highs and the happiness in her life. And it makes her remember and appreciate the lows, because it makes it worth it 100%. And that he's the John Legend to my Chrissy Teigen. I thought that was so cute. So, of course, Justine says the boy that I want to couple up with is, of course, Caleb. No surprise there. These two are absolutely adorable. They still get the rating of a 10 from me. I just want them to stay this way, you know, and obviously they're not getting a lot of airtime because there's not a lot of drama there. They're happy with each other, and there's no confusion, ifs, ands, or buts. So we'll see if they stick it out. So let's talk about our next couple, because there was some stuff on these two with Kirsten and Calvin. So it kind of started out with Calvin having some conversation with Laurel, because of the fact that he wanted to know where her head is, because of the whole tweet that America said about there's a connection with those two. And it's interesting how they decided to, you know, explore it. And, you know, Laura was telling him, you know, how she didn't like the shallow comment, and if he can't open up, where are we going? But she do know that we have a connection. I mean, that she has a connection with Carrington, because that's what she was talking about. But, you know, Calvin was like, hey, well, when you came in, I heard you was interested in me. What are you looking for? And she said, I'm looking for honesty, you know, and, you know, what are you looking for? And he said, I'm looking for somebody kind and somebody that's gentle to people. And pretty much Lauren is open to Calvin at this point. I don't know if it's a connection there, but we'll see. So on the flip side of this couple, we got Kirsten. Kirsten also had some conversation with Bennett. And, you know, Bennett is asking Kirsten, where's your head at, you know? And, you know, she was saying, you know, I think that you're a great guy. But, you know, at the end of the day, I got to pick the best person for me. And, you know, he definitely said the same. I actually want to see if maybe these two can explore something with each other. I think they're on the same page with a lot of different things. Their love language is the same. I kind of want Kirsten to pursue this one. I mean, because she definitely had already put Calvin in the friend zone. It's not working, you know, so maybe she should. I mean, guys, what do you think? You know, let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are about this possible new couple. I don't know with the recoupling completing in tomorrow's episode whether or not Kirsten is going to pick Bennett. But, you know, it'll be interesting, because I really think that he might just be that guy for her, you know, and hopefully she realizes it. But the problem is, and I think I heard Bennett say this to someone else, is that there's something still stuck in her craw about Carrington. So I don't know. She needs to figure that out. But then Calvin decided that he wanted to have a conversation with Moira. And so these folks, I mean, they're all over the place. They're not really knowing what they want to do, because I think now that the women have power with the recoupling, the guys are scrambling. I mean, before you have that, now you got the whole situation with Moira and Connor. So let's talk about them. And, Connor was telling her, where his head was, in that, he thought about us being coupled up, but he just can't get Mackenzie off the brain. He said Mackenzie is the one that he's supposed to be with, and, she goes into this whole thing, oh, I need to try to work on myself more, and, all I can ask is if you continue to be my friend. Moira doesn't know what she wants. I've been reading you guys' comments, and honestly, I don't even know why the votes came in for these two, because there is zero connection, which is also my rating. There is zero connection between both Connor and Moira. It's just not there. And unfortunately, to the detriment of Moira, because she don't know what she wants and she needs to work on it within herself to get to know what she wants, she's going to be in the same position all the time. And at the same time, if Connor didn't want Mackenzie to go home, as much as a lot of people had issues with Mackenzie, it was his choice. You should have stuck it out and say, you know what, I really want to see where this could go with Mackenzie. I expect it to be in here long term. I mean, because it doesn't make any sense to be paired up with anyone else when you're still stuck on somebody from the past. And that's anybody. So then, of course, now Moira is having conversation with Bennett. And, Bennett is asking her, well, how are you feeling about stuff? What do you think? And Moira is like, oh, he wants to be friends and try to get over Mackenzie, and that was a bomb to me, and, it made me feel upset. And, Bennett is like, okay, well, what do you think about us? How about me? And she's not there. She was saying, oh, I think you're a nice guy and all, and I still got stuff to work on. And what about Kirsten? I mean, you were talking to her too, So, and he said in his confessional that Kirsten is in the number 1 spot with him and Moira is number 2. So, I mean, granted, even though he doesn't have the power, Moira actually has the power to say which direction she wants to go. So, I mean, everybody except for Justine and Caleb seems to be all over the place. They really haven't solidified anything. And I'll get to Laurel later, but Laurel did make an interesting statement. We're running out of time. And if I'm not mistaken, I think maybe the last episode is next Sunday. So these folks got to figure out what they're going to do. Are they going to build some connections this week? Plus, there's a couple more folks coming in tomorrow. So it's going to be interesting to see what Moira's going to do. She's one of the originals. She's been there from day one and have yet to make a connection. James, I think, actually was her guy, but because the communication was out of whack, it was a wrap. He was done. She was done. It is what it is. All right. So on the other side of this coupling is Connor. And, Connor now backtracked to Moira because I think he feels like, shoot, you know what? There's nobody else I've actually had interest in. The only person that can really keep me here is Moira, which I think is like, dude, if you don't have a connection with anybody and maybe you're waiting for some new folks to come in, that might be possible. But these people are keeping each other here just to wait for something else to come up down the line. They're not making connections. I mean, even as sordid as the Cely Johnny situation is, there's a connection there because they've been there together so long. So they need to figure this out. And then you turn around and you had Calvin talking to Moira as well. And I think he's trying to see where he can get in, where he can fit in. I mean, guys, you got to figure out something. You know, start building a connection with one person. And if it's not working, it's not working. I mean, there's nothing that you can do if it's just nothing there. And, you know, with so many guys being there versus the girls, especially they having the power. And Moira is at the recoupling at this point trying to figure out what to do. She got a tough decision to make. All right, so let's move on to Laurel and Carrington. So Moira pulled Laurel to the side and wanted to have a conversation about Calvin, which we kind of talked about earlier. And she basically was trying to discuss with her that maybe she should consider exploring that particular interest because of what the tweet had came in the game earlier last week, I would say. So Laurel is definitely open. You know, she said, hey, you know, he was one of the guys that I was interested in when I got here. But of course, you know, Calvin was over at Casa. Well, he was over at Casa Amor. So she had an opportunity over there to get to know him as well, but she took to Carrington at the time. You know, and so they decided to have a sit-down conversation to see where, you know, each other were. And they definitely, you know, revealed to each other that there was some interest. But again, like Laurel said, I'm running out of time. I need to see either what I'm going to do with Carrington or explore something with Calvin. And honestly, if I had myself to choose between the two of them, I honestly think she has more in common with Calvin. I don't know what's up with Carrington, and kind of like Kirsten was having a conversation with Laurel, is that Carrington is extremely reserved. I don't know. I see a hint of arrogance in tonight's episode. You know, and we'll talk about that as we come up on their conversation that they had later. But, you know, Laurel is like, you know, hey, what are we doing here? You know, if I can't, you know, get you to, you know, have a deeper connection. I mean, yes, we have fun together, but what are we doing, you know? So there was this, after they did the little toast and everything, she had a sit-down conversation with the guys and with Carrington. And so Caleb asked, hey, do you know her favorite color? Do you know her eye color? And I know she told him all of those things, that her eyes was green and what her color was. He didn't remember. And it's like, what? I mean, you're building a connection. Those are simple things, especially if you looked into her eyes. What's her eye color? Then he got her age wrong. How many siblings did she have? But she definitely remembered his parents' name, Jose and Stephanie. You know, so, I mean, if she can pay attention to those things, what's up with the fact that Carrington just, I don't know, those details just did not sit with him that he remembered, and that frustrated her because she's like, okay, you know, how do I feel about this situation with him when I thought we was building something deeper, and he can't even remember basic things that I told him about myself, and I don't blame her. You know, and especially if you looking at me in my eyes, you don't remember my eye color. Okay, I totally get where she's coming from. So she did have this sit down with Kirsten, and she was like, I don't know what I'm going to do here. I do want to explore my interests with Calvin. And Kirsten was like, look, you need to lay everything on the table with Carrington. You need to let him know where you stand with all of this. You know, and Kirsten told her, yeah, I mean, Carrington can be a little reserved and kind of quiet and, you know, I mean, and she said it seems like he had a little arrogance because at first I wasn't interested in talking to him. But when they met in Casa Amor, you know, of course, they built a connection. But I totally get where she's coming from. I know I had a conversation with someone in the comments about eye contact. For whatever reason that is, whether there's some underlying things going on or if he's just shy, you know, there's something that he has to work on with that, because he was very, very dismissive, as we see later on with his conversation, which we'll get to when he had that with Laurel, you know. So, you know, again, she had another meeting with Calvin, you know, to let him know, you know, this is where I'm at. I am interested in pursuing an interest. I'm kind of conflicted because I do have a connection with Carrington. I just got to figure out what I have to do. And Carrington pushed the envelope because she wasn't ready to have this conversation with him. You know, and Calvin is like, look, I need you to say your piece. Why you ain't tell me? You should have told me. You know, and she's like, I'm not ready for this conversation right now. You know, I need to figure out where my head is. And he just shut down. He was like, okay. You know, and he just turned into this, looking into the ceiling, quiet. And of course, she's like, okay, you know what? You pretty much making it easy for me. Because, I mean, granted, he left her alone because he didn't want to you know, he didn't want to talk about it. But it definitely affected her that she was really, really upset. So here's where they had that conversation after the fact. And he was just so cold. Because originally he told the guys, if she goes after Calvin, I'm going to put the swag on. But now it's like he just went cold with her. The eye contact again wasn't there. And then he kept looking her up and down as if to say, do what you want. You need to figure it out, figure it out. You know, I didn't, and you guys tell me what you think when you saw that interaction between both Laurel and Carrington, because I don't know, it was just some energy I was picking up on him where he was very dismissive, very cold with her. And I know sometimes that's a game that guy plays, you know, to try to draw someone into them when they want to be emotionally unavailable in the moment. But that's what it seemed like to me. And that low-key manipulative, I'm not sure if I want to say that yet. Maybe that's just his demeanor. But it definitely didn't sit well with Laurel. So, you know, we'll see what's going to happen with them and what she's going to choose to do. So our biggest situation tonight was the issue with Johnny and Cely. And, you know, Johnny was like, where are your thoughts? And she's like, I'm fired up, you know, after the info that I received and the fact that I can't trust you. What happened under the covers, Johnny? Why didn't you tell me? If you can, you know, be touchy-feely and kissing all over her in front of the cameras, why did you have to cover up? What did you do? And he's consistently saying, I didn't do anything. I know I'm the problem. Yeah, I mean, we know that you're the problem, but what happened under the covers? And he said to her, do you want to know how I touched her? Do you want to know how I kissed her? And she's like, no, I just need you to tell me everything that happened. And he's being defensive. I told you everything that has happened. He kept cutting her off. I mean, it doesn't help when two people cut each other off, especially in a heated discussion like this. And she can't trust him. She wants to get her point across. He's trying to let her know it is what, you know, I told you what it is. And basically his demeanor is that, you know, he doesn't want to hear any more about it. That's what I saw. He wanted her to just look. I said what I said. I told you I didn't do anything. I'm done with this. When you're ready to talk, we can talk. So it felt defensive to her, and I don't blame her because, I mean, granted, maybe he was getting annoyed, but you got to deal with this. You brought this upon yourself, Johnny. I mean, she has been 110% pure when it came to your relationship. You were the one that screwed up, so you got to take the hit on that. And I mean, the guys, he's in there talking to Bennett about, you know what, this is where she is, you know. there's nothing that I can't do right now. And he was, he told him, yeah, you might just have to give her some time and let her figure it out. And of course, the girls, her favorite girl, Justine, her bestie is like, look, you can't let him get away with that. He can't just make you feel like the bad guy, and he need to give you an opportunity to explain yourself and allow you to get your feelings out on the table. And I mean, these two are just, Johnny right now is playing a little macho with this. Let me know what you guys think right now. Because honestly, even Carrington is like, well, you gotta let her have her feelings, and, dismissive. And I know Caleb is looking at the two of them like, man, dude, y'all need to chill. Y'all need to chill. Carrington has this reserved, cold attitude, and Johnny has this, what, I'm not going to keep repeating myself. So, you go chill out and calm down and let me know when you want to talk. But Johnny, you brought this on yourself. This is something that you have to deal with. Especially when Cely did nothing wrong. So don't make her feel like she's doing something wrong by bringing this to you. Yes, you have guilt. But whatever it is, if she needs to know the intimate details of what happened under those sheets, you need to give it to her. And again, Bennie is over there looking like, I'm just chilling out. I don't even think that Cely has a connection with Bennie, but just the fact that he's able to cause this much drama in the villa, and of course, the tweets that came out about Johnny. It's a situation that they're going to have to figure out, and unfortunately, Johnny, you're going to have to take the brunt of what Cely is giving you if you want to reestablish your relationship. Because right now, she could vote you right on out the door and keep Bennie in the villa. You got to pick which one you want, So he had a conversation with Bennett saying, I'm just going to let her be. When she want to talk, she'll come to me. But I find that interesting. After he said that, he turns around and go in there. She's under the covers trying to, just get her thoughts together. And what does he do? He come in there bothering her. I know I told you I was going to give you space, but I'm just letting you know, when you're ready to talk, I'm here to talk. And it's like, dude, I don't think she forgot the first time that she said that and that you said that. I think you thought that you wanted to open that door in that moment, hoping that she was going to talk right then. It didn't work because she went and tucked herself right back under the covers. So, granted, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I thought I knew based on what we saw with Johnny, but I'm seeing some things that I'm not really feeling right now with him. Again, this couple is a 7 for me. But if Johnny keep it up, he's going to go below a 5. And it's not based on Cely, it's based on him. So, Cely got a text about the fact that the girls have a afternoon ladies brunch at the Neon Museum. So, of course, she's happy about that because of the fact that gets her out of the villa. She was saying that she doesn't have to see Johnny's face. And Johnny is looking and feeling some kind of way, because he feels like, oh, yeah, they're going over there to talk about me. Yep, pretty much. They're definitely going to talk about you. But I really do like this scene with the girls. They all happy and excited that they're going to go and have some time away from the guys and have some girl time and be able to chill out. So that's what they do. And they're all dressed up with their shades and cute sundresses and sticking it to the guys like, yeah, see y'all later. I see you when I see you. And of course, still Johnny walking around mean mugging because he's not feeling the fact that they get to go out and they get to stay there. So I thought this place was really, really nice. I mean, and they were dressed like girls walking on Sunset, all dressed up with their outfits, and they got mimosas, and I thought that was cool. I really do think they needed some time away, to get away from the guys and have some conversation and reconnect. And Cely did need that time. She needed a breather, because right now, every time you look, Johnny or Bennie is somewhere in the vicinity. So with them having this girls' brunch, it gave her some time away. So some of the conversation that they had, of course, she was talking about how it was great to leave the boys behind, not to see Johnny. And Justine was like, again, don't let that man get away with what he did, And she had said something funny. She wanted to thank the Love Island gods for some girl time. Laurel, had talked about the fact that Calvin pulled her aside for a chat and that they were also able to connect on a deeper level. So, and that, of course, Kirsten, was talking about the fact of the conversation that she's had with Bennett. I actually love these little outfits that they got on. I just had to say that, but I thought it was cute. But honestly, I really think they did need that girl time. And then, you know what? Honestly, the guys got some time away from the girls, even though they didn't go anywhere. But the fact that they had the villa to themselves, it made it really cool for them too, And that's when, Carrington talking about turning on his swag and all of this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, okay, really, dude? So they came back to the villa, and this allowed her to have some conversation with Johnny. And, she was telling him, look, I don't like the fact that the last conversation that we had, you were very defensive. You were very dismissive. I wanted you to allow me to talk so I can tell you how I feel. And you didn't allow me to do that. And he was like, you know what, I apologize. I do see where I messed up at. I should have allowed you to talk and allowed, me to be able, I got to learn how to listen more. Yeah, you do. When you screwed up, Johnny, and this girl is saying, look, this is how I feel about this, and this is your girl, as you call it, because you said that, my girl. You got to be able to give her the time to vent and listen to it. You got to take the brunt of that. You just can't push her off to the side. So the group got together afterwards and they had a toast, and actually Bennett led the toast and was, toasting to a great evening in the villa and how he was glad to get to know everybody and, being cool with, and I just think that Kirsten and this wine glass trick is hilarious. So now we have a situation where we have Cely actually having a conversation with Bennie. And did it seem to you that he really wasn't involved in the conversation? I mean, it was kind of weird. He was like, yeah, sure, absolutely, yeah, and I'm like, okay. And he was saying to her, you just allow yourself the time to figure out what you want to do. He did, throw that in there. And all the while, of course, Johnny is stalking because he's like, my girl is over there talking to Bennie. Oh, my goodness. Dude, you got to get your self-confidence back in order. Yeah, you screwed up, but don't become extremely insecure in the process. You got to still hold your ground on who you are, even if she stays with you or not. But in regards to Bennie, I don't see that connection there. At first, when they were on their date, I thought so. But honestly, even though, they got to figure, Johnny and her have to figure this thing out. I don't think that, this guy here is an option for her. I don't see the connection. Guys, let me know what you think down in the comments. But, with this recoupling looming tomorrow, Cely got some decisions to make. You know, she got to see if she wants to actually pursue something, you know, with Bennie, or if she wants to try to reconcile and figure out this whole thing with Johnny. I mean, guys, let me know in the comments. I want to see your comments. Should she choose Bennie or should she choose Johnny? And then I'll take a poll and I'll see what, you know, who the winner or who got the most votes in this particular episode on our channel, okay? So, yeah, I mean, she got some decisions to make. Johnny is definitely not feeling the fact of their conversation that they had yesterday. And he tried to cuddle with her and everything, but she just wasn't having it. She's not there yet. It was interesting in this particular scene that they seem to be walking and happy, but yeah, I don't know what she's going to do. And we'll definitely see tomorrow whether she chooses Bennie or whether she chooses Johnny. So we're going to do our post notification shout outs. And if you want to shout out, always comment down below. I do pick them from every episode. So the first one is Famous Galson. Thank you so much for engaging in the channel. I really appreciate it. Our next one is Cely Bonambi. Thank you so much. I love keeping you updated. So keep watching and I'll keep you updated. And then our last one is Sanilzwi Dungani. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Thank you so much for engaging in the channel, and I'm glad you're watching as well. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow.